Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Delta Sky Team and our global partners, welcome on board. As you're making your way to your seat, we kindly ask that you please step into your row and out of the aisle as quickly as possible to allow those passengers behind you to make their way to their seat as well. If you're traveling with a larger rollerboard, please place it in the overhead bins, either wheels or handles first on either side of the aircraft. Keeping in mind that the overhead bin space is shared space, so if the bin directly above your seat is already full, please go ahead and utilize the next available
Miami
space.
ground Delta 112 requesting
If you brought
the
any
end
second
of
item
pushback.
with you, such as a briefcase, tote bag, laptop
Delta
bag, backpack,
1123 request to end
you
pushback
can go ahead and
proceed.
utilize that space under the seat in front of you, so that we can
Miami
utilize
ground
that
Delta
overhead bin space for your
1123
larger
with Echo
bags
request
without having
taxi
to check
for
them
takeoff
plain sight to your
departure
final
to the east.
destination. Feel free to
Delta
utilize your mobile phones,
1123
tablets,
taxi to
and
hold
e-readers
short
while we're
runway
here at the
right
gate.
using taxiway
However, once we close our
1315
boarding door,
Yankee 2
you
Juliet
must
Juliet
please
Papa
place
Mike
these
1.
items into airplane mode or turn
Contact
off your
tower
cellular
on
service.
118.3 when ready.
Please also note that if you will be working on a laptop computer or enjoying any other
Taxi
larger
hold short
electronic
runway 8
devices,
right via
they must be
taxiway
stowed either in a bag under
1315
the seat in
Yankee
front of
2
you or
Juliet
in the
Juliet
overhead
Papa Mike
bins.
1 Delta
Please do not
1123.
stow these items in the seat pocket in front of you. Place them directly on the floor or hold them on your lap during taxi, takeoff, and landing. This is not just a Delta policy, but an FAA regulation for your safety. So we'd like to thank you all for choosing to fly Delta. Welcome on board. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board your Delta flight. My name is Bryson. I'll be your flight leader. This evening, our Mr. 5 of us are based in Los Angeles. We are here primarily for your safety. So in just a moment, we'll be showing you a brief presentation on the safety features of the aircraft. We kindly ask that you please direct your attention to the video monitors and flight attendants in the aisle, even if you are a frequent flyer. Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard, and thank you for choosing Delta for 100 years and counting.
Delta. Airlines.
The health and safety of our customers and crew is our -- priority, and the shared responsibility of everyone on board. So, before we depart, please pay attention to this important message. Stow all carry-on items in an overhead bin and place smaller items completely under the seat in front of you.
Larger electronic devices must be placed in a bag. Handheld portable electronic devices, including mobile phones, should also be secured.
Keep the aisles, exits, and bulkhead areas clear. If you lose an electronic device in your seat, please do not adjust your seat and ask a crew member for help.
As we leave the gate, fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle and adjusting the strap so it's low and tight across your lap. To release, lift the top of the buckle. If your seat has a shoulder harness, attach the metal tip to the fitting on the belt. To release, push the metal tip down. Stay seated with your seatbelt fastened when the seatbelt sign is on, and keep it fastened whenever you're seated in case of sudden rough air. In the event of rough air, the crew might also need to buckle up for safety. We appreciate your understanding if our service is interrupted.
Federal regulations require all passengers to comply with all crew members' instructions, along with the posted placards and lighted information signs throughout the cabin. Smoking, vaping, the use of e-cigarettes or any smokeless product, including chewing tobacco, is not allowed on any Delta flight. Federal law prohibits tampering with, disabling, or destroying restroom smoke detectors.
There are 8 exits on this plane, 8 doors, 4 on each side. Each door has a detachable slide that can be used as a raft.
In the event of an evacuation, leave all bags behind. Carry-in baggage will slow the evacuation. All exits are clearly marked with the green exit symbol. Locate the nearest exits and remember, they might be behind you. If we lose power, lights will illuminate the aisles to guide you to an exit.
It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes, oxygen masks will drop from the panels above your seat and inside the lavatories. Reach up and pull a mask or streamer down to start the flow of oxygen. Remove any face covering and place the mask over your nose and mouth, slip the elastic strap over your head, and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally, and note that oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
A water evacuation is also unlikely, but just in case, life vests are in a compartment beneath or adjacent to your seat. To use, remove the vest from its container by pulling on the tab and then opening the pouch. Slip the vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist, attach it to the buckle in front, and adjust securely around your waist. As you leave the plane, inflate the vest by pulling down on the red tab at the bottom, or manually inflate it by blowing into the tube at shoulder level. A water-activated light is attached to each vest. For children under 35 pounds, place the vest around their waist and secure the strap between the legs. See your safety card for more information. Additional life vests for in-lap children are in marked compartments at the front and rear of the plane. We'll distribute these vests if necessary.
Before takeoff, bring your seat to its upright position and stow your tray table, footrest, and leg rest. Be sure you fastened your seatbelt low and tight across your lap, carry-on items secured, and armrests are at resting position, or as otherwise indicated on the placard in front of you. If you have a suite door, ensure it's open. See placard instructions inside the suite door for opening instructions in case of emergency. Finally, take a moment to review the safety information card in your seat pocket.
As we finish our safety check, please let us know if you have any questions.
As we take off into the future, sit back and relax. And from all of our crew, thank you for flying with Delta, today and for the next 100 years.
Miami Tower Delta 112 tree at runway 8 right, ready for departure, east departure.
Delta 112 tree, wind 117 at 12.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, we will be dimming our cabin lighting for the duration of our flight.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 8 right, Delta
If you need additional
112
lighting,
tree.
your individual reading light controls, flight attendant call button.
Sim read 1.
Can be found on your TV monitor, and your air conditioning vent can be found on the panel above your seat. Thank you.
American tree 091 number 5 for landing. Follow the aircraft on final. Wind 117 at 12. Cleared to land runway 9er. Cleared to land runway 9er number 5 American tree 091.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking off in just a few minutes. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for departure.
Airlane 222 number 6 for landing. Follow the Boeing on final. Wind 117 at 12. Cleared to land runway 9er. Cleared to land runway 9er number 6 Airlane 222. Miami Tower Laxa 6048 miles west, inbound ILS runway 9er approach. Delta 112 tree, continue for east departure. American 8 tree 1 exit runway when able. Laxa 604 Miami Tower. Altimeter tree 0.22 wind 117 at 12. Cleared ILS runway 9er approach. Delta 112 tree, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Miami Tower Delta 112 tree, continue for east departure.
American 8 tree 1 contact ground on 120.35.
Miami Tower Delta 112 tree, frequency change. Miami approach Delta 112 tree is type Airbus A320 and 4 miles east of Miami 500 feet. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
Delta 112 tree Miami approach. Squawk 0757.
Squawk 0757 Delta 112 tree.
Delta 112 tree radar contact 5 miles south of Kilo Bravo India Charlie 1000 feet. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
Cleared through the Bravo airspace Delta 112 tree.
approach Southwest 1724 is missed approach at Miami. Southwest 1724, you are 1 mile north. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors visual runway 8 left approach. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors visual runway 8 left approach Southwest 1724. Delta 112 you're leaving my airspace radar service terminated squawk 1200. Frequency change approved.
Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved Delta 112 Miami approach Delta 112 is type Airbus A320 and 2 miles north of Kilo Bravo India Charlie 1,500 feet. Request flight following.
Delta 112 Miami approach. Squawk 6314.
Squawk 6314 Delta 112
Delta 112 radar contact 4 miles north of Kilo Bravo India Charlie 2,000 feet. Altimeter 30.22.
Roger Delta 112
Delta 112 contact approach on 118.1. Good day.
Going to 118.1 Delta 112 Approach Delta 112 2,100 feet.
Delta 112 approach altimeter 30.22 radar contact continue.
Approach Delta 112 Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Delta 112 approach. Cleared through the Charlie airspace.
Cleared through Charlie airspace Delta 112
Delta 112 contact Miami approach on 120.5. Good day.
120.5 Delta 112 Goodbye. Miami approach Delta 112 3,300 feet.
Delta 112 Miami approach altimeter 30.21 radar contact continue. Delta 112 tree, you're leaving my airspace. Resume own navigation. Contact Palm Beach approach on 124.6. Good day.
Going to 124.6 Delta 112 tree. Palm Beach approach Delta 112 tree 4,300 feet.
Delta 112 tree Palm Beach approach altimeter tree 0.2 tree radar contact continue. Southwest 100 descend and maintain 2,000 feet. Descend and maintain 2,000 feet southwest 100. Delta 112 tree contact Palm Beach approach on 125.2. Good day.
125.2 Delta 112 tree. Goodbye. Palm Beach approach Delta 112 tree 5,200 feet.
Delta 112 tree Palm Beach approach altimeter tree 0.22 radar contact continue. Palm Beach approach American 23335 is passing 2,800 feet, climbing 7,000 feet. American 23335 Palm Beach approach altimeter 30.22 radar contact, continue to Fenta. Delta 112 tree contact Miami Center on 132.15. Good day.
132.15 Delta 112 tree. Goodbye. Miami Center Delta 112 tree 9,400 feet.
United 522 climb and maintain flight level 360. Delta 112 tree Miami Center altimeter 30.22 radar contact, continue. Delta 112 tree contact Miami Center on 132.25. Good day.
132.25 Delta 112 tree. Goodbye. Miami Center Delta 112 tree 9,700 feet.
Delta 112 tree Miami Center altimeter 30.22 radar contact, continue. 522 is at flight level 345 climbing flight level 360. United 522 Miami Center radar contact continue. Miami Center Avion Express 346 is at flight level 210 climbing flight level 330. Avion Express 346 Miami Center radar contact continue. Avion Express 346 contact Miami Center on 134.2. Good day. One 134.2 Avion Express 346. Goodbye. Miami Center United 1742 is passing flight level 355 climbing flight level 360. United 1742 Miami Center radar contact continue. GOL 23489er is at flight level 340 climbing flight level 340. GOL 23489er Miami Center radar contact, continue to ronk. Delta 1123 contact Miami Center on 124.1. Good day.
124.1 Delta 112 Goodbye. Miami Center Delta 112 17,400 feet.
Delta 1123 Miami Center radar contact, continue. Miami Center United 522 is passing flight level 355, climbing flight level 360. United 522 Miami Center, radar contact continue. level 265 climbing flight level 270. United 1353 Miami Center radar contact continue. Delta 112 tree, contact Jacksonville Center on 134.0. Good day.
134.0 Delta 112 tree. Goodbye. Jacksonville Center Delta 112 tree, flight level 265.
Delta 112 tree, Jacksonville Center, radar contact, continue. Delta 1401, contact Jacksonville Center on 120.85. Good day. Jacksonville Center, JetBlue 597 is at flight level 355, descending flight level 320. JetBlue 597, Jacksonville Center, radar contact, continue to Monroe. Delta 112 tree, contact Jacksonville Center on 120.85. Good day.
120.85 Delta 112 tree. Goodbye. Jacksonville Center Delta 112 tree, flight level 285.
Delta 112 tree, Jacksonville Center, radar contact, continue. Jacksonville Center, Delta 1514 is at flight level 335, climbing flight level 340. Delta 1514, Jacksonville Center, radar contact, continue to rock. Delta 1514 traffic is 9 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 345, Boeing 737. Report them in sight. Delta 1514 traffic is 12 o'clock 2 miles at flight level 380, Boeing 737. Report them in sight. Delta 1514 have the Boeing 737 in sight. Delta 112 tree, contact Jacksonville Center on 128.7. Good day.
128.7 Delta 112 tree. Goodbye. Jacksonville Center Delta 112 tree, flight level 300.
Delta 112 tree, Jacksonville Center, radar contact, continue. contact Jacksonville Center on 120.85. Good day. .85 American 2911. Goodbye. Delta 112 tree traffic is 10 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 380 Boeing 737. Report them in sight.
Delta 112 tree have the traffic.
Jacksonville Center United 1421 is at flight level 305, descending flight level 270. United 1421 Jacksonville Center radar contact continue. Delta 112 tree traffic is 12 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 380 Airbus A320. Report them in sight. Delta 1770 traffic is 1 o'clock 1 mile at flight level 355 Airbus A320N. Report them in sight.
Delta 112 Tree have the traffic.
Delta 1770 have the traffic. Delta 112 Tree traffic is 10 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 400 Boeing 737. Report them in sight.
Delta 112 Tree have the traffic.
This will be our final check before landing. The flight attendants will not come through the cabin when we have been cleared to land. So at this time, please go ahead and return all seat backs and tray tables to their full upright and locked position and pass any items to the flight attendants. Thank you.
Endeavor 4968 exit runway when able. Endeavor 4968, turn next taxiway. Brickyard 46907, follow the Airbus A320 on final. Wind 250 at tree. Cleared to land runway 1 tree left. Cleared to land runway 1 tree left, Brickyard 46907.
That's our landing signal. Please raise your seat backs and tray tables to their upright and locked position. Recheck the security of your seatbelt. Make sure the aisle in front of your feet is completely clear of all luggage. If you're sitting in our Delta 1 cabin, please attach your shoulder harness. All video monitors and footrests must be stowed at this time. Thank you. We'll be landing shortly. If you need assistance, please let us know.
to land runway tree 1 left Delta 112 tree. Kennedy Tower Delta 112 tree is 3 miles south 1,600 feet with Sierra to land.
Brickyard 46907, turn next taxiway. Brickyard 46907, contact ground on 131.375. Brickyard 46907. Goodbye.
Got about 40 minutes before we land. Quick taxi over to gate 141 after that. Clouds are between 3,000 and 8,000 feet, so you may or may not see the city up at the right side of the aircraft. Flight attendants, please prepare the cab for arrival.
And ladies and gentlemen, as we make our gradual approach into Tokyo, flight attendants will be coming through the cabin at this time to collect any items you'd like to discard of. This will be a good time to start stowing all carry-on luggage and powering down laptop and computers. Once you're below 10,000 feet, Wi-Fi service will be discontinued. You're free to use handheld devices as long as it's properly secured throughout the flight. Thank you.
Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As the captain indicated, we are starting our initial approach into the area. We are going to experience some rough air as we descend to a lower altitude for our landing. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and come through the cabin, and we're going to collect any items that you'd like to discard. You will need to go ahead and stow all of your personal belongings that you use during the flight, power down your larger electronic.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you. You know what they say. A good landing is a landing you
Stay
walk
seated
away
with your
from.
seatbelts fastened. Carry items stowed until the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. Please use caution when opening overhead bins as items tend to shift during flight. Please ensure that you have all of your
Delta
personal belongings before
1123, turn
deplaning.
next taxiway.
As you reach our gate, we invite you to use the Fly Delta app for important baggage and connection information. And you may receive an email asking to share your feedback. We value your feedback and use your responses to continually improve your future travel experience with us. On behalf of this entire flight crew, we'd like to thank you for choosing Delta. Wish all of you a very pleasant stay here and to your final destination. Wish all of you a very pleasant day. Thank you.
Delta 1123, turn next taxiway. Delta 1123, contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9er Delta 112 Goodbye. Kennedy Ground Delta 112 request taxi to the gate.
Delta 1123, taxi to gate Echo 1 via taxiway November.
Taxiing to gate Echo 1 using taxiway November Delta 112
And flight attendants, disarm doors for arrival. Cross-check and alcohol, please.